Dreams are really talking to us at the moment, aren't they? I definitely had a really important dream I felt I wanted to share with you guys. I'm Susan Kennard. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. I like to bring all sorts of things to my channel, and I have another video that comes out tomorrow morning, which is our 5-minute frequency tune up, where quite often I will do light language, healing, and whatever channeling comes through. But right now, I want to share this dream with you. And as I share this dream with you, just come into your heart and feel what you feel feels right to you. Because I never tell you what to think, and I never tell you what to feel. But you may have heard of a lady called Magenta Pixie, and you may have heard of Amanda Ellis. Well, interestingly, when I had this dream, which was on the 30th of August, and we're now on the 1st of September, I had no idea that they were also having, interestingly, similar dreams that night. And I actually watched Magenta Pixie's dream, so you could pop over to her channel. It's just her name. And I watched what she spoke about in her dream. And then she went on to say that her friend Amanda Ellis actually had a very similar dream. Well, they were actually in the dream together. So Amanda Ellis and Magenta Pixie were not in my dream, but I thought it was really interesting to share this dream with you. So it starts with a group of people, and I've got my notes here, so I'm glad I wrote it down as soon as I woke up in the morning. And it was like a group of those that focused the dark energy. So it was almost like a cult energy of many people. A lot of them were men, and I don't remember seeing women in this group, but I remember standing back and looking at them. And it wasn't a church, but it was a kind of place like that. And the way that you knew that they were working in the dark, or Satan, I wrote in my dream, they were working for the dark, let's say, was that they had a particular light here, but it was a different light. It wasn't like a light, and it was an indication, and it was right on their forehead. And they had another one on the top of their head. I mean, there were all sorts of things in this dream. And what happened was that throughout this first part of the dream, I was standing there and I was watching all of these energies, these dark energies. And they were people, they were humans. And all of a sudden, this incredible light came through. And every single one, apart from one, every single one of these dark energy beings that were men, that were human, actually transformed into light. And so the part of them, they all looked around as they felt this incredible light coming down. And they all looked around, and it was almost like they'd woken up. So they've been operating under this particular dark energy, and they realized that when the light came in, they saw something completely different, and they were no longer operating in that way. And so these marks that they had on the head, I'm just kind of reading my notes here, the mark that they had on the head and the forehead transformed into light. So they were still human, they were still beings, but they no longer had the darkness about them, and they just had light shining from them. But there was one being that didn't transform into the light, and a huge amount of light was being pumped into, I suppose we could say, to this person. And eventually, with strength, with focus, the light continued to, and I think it was coming through me, but it was coming through many other people, light workers, we would say, bringing that light through and expanding it out to this particular man. All of a sudden, he stopped doing what he was doing, which was not a very kind thing to somebody, and realized that who he truly was this incredible light. So then there was another part of the dream. And so that was one aspect of the dream. And then there was another part of the dream where they were showing me that the water that we were drinking had something in it. And what was happening is, as people were drinking it and consuming it, we were pulling out almost like spiky lead-like energies from the body. So they were being pulled out. But also what I was seeing was, out of some people, there were like almost like insecty things as well. So I don't know what that's about. I'm not, I haven't got any thoughts on that. All I know is that it was something about contamination of water. And then the last part of the dream was that I was seeing babies, and these babies had no language. And so when you looked at these babies, and they had very, very long arms and long legs and so on, but they were babies, but they were very long in their limbs. And as you looked at them, they telepathically spoke to you. And so I don't know what that means. I don't know what might be coming or whatever. You tell me what you think. But the sense is that beings going to be born perhaps did not need language, that they could just directly speak to us through telepathy. But I'd love to hear what you think about that dream. And I'd also love to hear if you've been having dreams, and if you know Amanda Ellis or Magenta Pixie, share my video with them, because I would love them to see what they think about it as well. Whether it makes sense to them, or whether they've had any more dreams since then. And I'm also working with someone that I've known for a very long time, and he and I are connecting with time traveling and things like that. And when we go to sleep, we intend to get insight, let's say, into what might be going on in the world and in our ascension process. So that's really fun at the moment. So what is going on for you? Are you having really expansive dreams? And know that your dreams are actually, really informing you about your life and informing you about the next part of your life. If you have dreams about relationships, I'm just going to get my YouTube up, so if anyone's come on live, I can speak to you, or say hi at least. Let me see. There we go. Oh, there's a few people on hi. So if if you've had a dream and it's been a dream about a house or a home, then it might be that you're dreaming because this is thinking about your own inner home, your own inner self. If you're dreaming about a person, if they're being kind to you, then it's a part of you that, you're bringing out the love within you. And if there's somebody that's not being very kind to you, then it might be that you're looking at those shadow parts of you. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you are that or that person is that. When I trained in psychotherapy many years ago, we did quite a lot of psychoanalytic dream work. And it is fascinating to me to see what people's dreams show. So I thought we might do a few cards for the next 10 minutes or so. And one of the things that was coming up for me, and I feel drawn to do with you, is the chakra energy cards. Okay, So I just want to see what the guides, actually, let me show you which ones these are. So these are beautiful chakra cards, and they're by a person called Tori Hartman. They're wisdom oracle chakra cards. So this just shows you what might be going on in your life at the moment. So I just want the guides just to give me a card to perhaps explain why we might be getting these really strong dreams at the moment. And whilst I'm doing this, whilst I'm connecting with this, I just want to invite you just to come into your heart and just connect with that light, and just connect with that star under your feet and the star above your head. Good. And imagine a beam of light. And just bring those guides and angels in around you. Good. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm hearing from my guides as I'm doing this now is that they're telling me that, okay, thank you. They're telling me that another push of fear is coming in. Okay. So I don't normally talk about these things on my channel, but obviously I'm meant to be doing this today. So another push of fear is coming in. And so we need to look at, thank you, the fear that we might have within us, which is being ignited by the fear from the media or the outside world or somebody else, even someone that you know. So if you feel that you're feeling fear at the moment, just put a note in the chat and say hi, and I'm going to give you a card. So we're going to access whereabouts that fear might be. And if you're listening to this on the replay and you hear this, then this card will be for you as well, because if it resonates, then it will be completely what you need to hear. Okay, so I'm just going to ask them to give me a card now that represents the fear that's being pushed on the collective right now. Now this is a beautiful card. So this is wisdom, okay? So this is very much the feeling I get here. I'm actually getting the feeling of Melchizedek around me. And I feel like it is the opportunity for us all to tap into our own true inner wisdom that we have. You know, that high Linnell, that true inner wisdom that we have. So rather than listening to, the media or fear-based society, if we actually come into, and what this card's kind of indicating is the world. So it's the divine feminine there with the world. And the sense I'm getting is that, there is an incredible support that we have, and we also have the world within. So we have Mother Earth within, and we have this ability to tap into our innate wisdom, not only from Mother Earth, but also from our true guidance that supports us at all times, which is our inner wisdom. Okay. So now, as you're here, I'm going to give you a card. So let's give Linnell a card. It would be helpful for Linnell to hear. Okay. Self-worth, Linnell. Look at this. So a card about self-worth. Let me tune into it for you. Yes. So this is a time for you to truly sit on your throne and be center, to be the light shining on you, not only through you, but the light to be shining on you. And as I connect with this, so if anybody else resonates with this card, take this card as well. But the feeling that I'm getting is to accept the old you, to truly be in, hi Diane, to be in acceptance of the old you, and to say, that was me then, and this is the new me. That I don't need to live in that lack of self-worth anymore, that I can sit on my throne, not in an ego sense, but sit on my throne and receive that help from the universe. My sovereignty, the guides are saying. Does that make sense to you? Diane, would you like a card? I'm going to give you a card. A card for Diane. So, Diane, you've got impatience. So let me tune into this card. Yeah, okay. So what I feel about this, and there's never a judgment with any of this, what I feel is that the sense of I want it now, okay, and where that comes from is the need to control, and where that comes from is the feeling of confusion. All right. So if you're listening to this card and you feel a resonance with it, then, and definitely for you, Diane, it is about, I want it now. I need to have it now. And the reason why I need to have it now is so I feel safe. And if I don't have it now, I'm not going to feel safe. And this is very much about you having clarity that you are always looked after. Okay. And if you look at him, he's got a beautiful guide with him that is supporting him. But what he's doing is he's reaching out for something and he's not connecting with this beautiful guide. Okay. So the message there would be to, you know, truly honor the fact that you have incredible guidance around you, and that with that guidance, you actually can trust without needing to have something immediately. It's such a hard thing for us as humans, isn't it? Ah, that's great, Linnell. I'm glad it makes sense to you, my love. Okay, let's see what else the guides have to say. So let's just have a look. If anyone else comes on, you're welcome to give a card. Okay, let's just do one more card. What else do we need to know? Ah, this is great. Okay, so this is the guilt card. So what I'm feeling about this, because I asked the guys, what do we need to know? Is let go of the guilt. Ah, thank you. That we're not there yet. Okay. So let go of the guilt that we're actually not there yet. Yeah. That the feeling that we should have been there, wherever there is, but we should have been there, that we should have been there before. And what I'm really hearing is the guilt is actually a really low vibration and a dense vibration. And if we're holding on to that guilt, that stops us from truly moving towards that higher frequency. Yeah. So I'm just seeing if there's anyone else come on. Anyone else like a card before I close this? Definitely pop over tomorrow morning. My 5-minute frequency tune-up comes out, where the guides will be releasing a frequency of guilt. And so this is perfect timing, actually. And so by releasing that frequency of guilt, we're able to step more forward into our next part of our future, our mission, and living more in the present moment. So you definitely want to make sure that you like and subscribe and share this if you feel it helps somebody else. And my 5-minute frequency will go out at 7:30 a.m. on a Friday, every single Friday. And that is where the guides come in and do light language. So we'll be clearing the frequency of guilt. Okay, so let me just see. Anyone there that would like a card? If not, I'm just going to do one more card. And another intuition, instinct one. So instinct is really about going with, as we said before, going with your true inner guidance, going with that true knowing of who you are. And if you listen right from the start, you'll hear about my dream. And so my dream was that space where I was being given that information. And so I am then interpreting that information depending on how it makes me feel. Okay. So whatever is going on in your world, interpret that with how you feel. And if it feels difficult for you, if it feels hard, if it feels painful, know that that's where the inner work is. All right. So much love, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to join my newsletter at susankennard.co.uk, where you get lots of freebies. And if you'd like to be part of my soul family, then you can join the Soul's Mission membership, where we meet 5 times a month and do lots of deep work. And the next retreat that I'm going to be running that anyone can join is about money. So if you want to clear the blocks to money and bring more money into your life, then pop over to my website, susankennard.co.uk, and go to book a session with Susan, or you can go to the events page and you can go on and you can book the retreat, which will be Intuitive Retreat number 1.